You know that blue and white roundel? It's one of the most recognized badges in the entire world, right? A symbol of German engineering, luxury, and just pure performance. But what if I told you that behind this icon of the open road, there's a hidden story, a history built on shadows and secrets? So let's peel back the layers and really look at the two sides of the BMW badge.
So what's BMW all about? Well, it really boils down to this one promise: sheer driving pleasure. It's not just about getting from point A to point B. It's about that feeling you get behind the wheel, the connection between you, the car, and the road. This whole idea is the foundation of their entire brand.
And for a lot of us, especially if you're in the US or the UK, that promise was boiled down to this killer slogan: the ultimate driving machine. I mean, it's bold, it's confident, and for decades, it basically cemented BMW's reputation as the gold standard for performance and precision engineering.
And look, they didn't just stumble into this reputation. It was built brick by brick over a century with vehicles that didn't just sell, they created whole new categories. It all started way back in the 20s with the R32 motorcycle, which just redefined engineering. After the war, you have this quirky little I-setup bubble car that literally saved the company. And then bam, the icons we all know and love. The 2002 sedan gave the brand its sporty soul, the legendary 3 Series created a whole new class of car, and more recently, the i3 signaled this bold leap into an electric future. You see the pattern here, right? Just undeniable innovation time after time.
But that incredible legacy of innovation almost came to a screeching halt. Seriously. Despite all its engineering genius, by 1959, BMW was on the brink of total collapse. It just couldn't find its footing after the war, and bankruptcy wasn't just a risk, it looked like a done deal. So, who on earth would step in to save this failing German icon? The answer brings a family onto the stage that would basically become BMW for the next 60-plus years: the Quants.
In 1959, two brothers, Herbert and Harald Quandt, took their massive family fortune and made a huge bet on BMW. It was this incredibly bold move that not only saved the company from being a footnote in history, but also cemented their family's place right at the heart of its future, a position they still hold to this very day.
Okay, so that brings us to the real question here, the core of this whole explainer. This money, the fortune that saved the ultimate driving machine, where did it actually come from? Well, the answer takes us back another generation, to one of the darkest chapters in modern history. The family patriarch was a man named Günther Quandt, and he wasn't just a businessman. He was an incredibly shrewd operator who built an industrial empire by hitching his wagon to the rise of the Third Reich. You see, he saw war as an opportunity. Günther Quandt landed these huge, profitable contracts to turn out guns, uniforms, you name it, for Hitler's military. So his fortune wasn't just a casualty of the war, it was literally built by the war.
And the way this empire was built, well, it's dark. The Quandt enterprise grew by taking over companies that were seized from their Jewish owners. His factories, they were powered by forced labor, using prisoners from concentration camps who were, in many cases, literally worked to death. It was a system that, as one investigation later put it, was a place, quote, where human pain is translated into profit. I mean, think about that. The brutal efficiency that fueled the growth of the Quandt empire, it was all built on just immense human suffering.
So after the war in 1946, Günther was arrested, suspected of being a Nazi collaborator. But he was acquitted, arguing that he was forced to join the party. And this verdict? It was absolutely pivotal. It meant his entire empire and all the wealth he'd amassed during the war stayed right there in his family's hands. And that, right there, is the very same fortune that would eventually buy control of BMW.
Fast forward to today, and that legacy, that fortune, is now in the hands of Günther's descendants. His grandson, Stefan Quandt, and his granddaughter, Suzanne Klatten, are the quiet, almost invisible figures who now control BMW.
And when I say control, I mean control. Just look at this. Together, Stefan Quandt and Suzanne Klatten own a majority stake in the company. That's not just influence, that's immense, almost total power over one of the world's most famous car brands.
And their strategy for using this power is fascinating. Power without visibility. Right? Think about it. Unlike the billionaires we see all over the news, the Quandts have, for generations, made it a point to operate from the shadows. They guard their influence like a fortress and avoid the public eye at all costs. Secrecy is everything. And this control is basically locked in place by what's called a blocking stake, which Stefan Quandt holds personally. What that means is his share is so big, he can single-handedly shoot down any hostile takeover attempt or any big strategic change he doesn't like. Bottom line, the family's control is pretty much untouchable.
So you've got this incredibly complex history sitting underneath a company that today is making a huge and remarkably successful pivot into a brand new automotive era.
Just look at this number. In the first half of 2024, BMW sales of fully electric vehicles just shot up by an incredible 34%. This isn't just a company adapting to change, this is a company aggressively grabbing the lead.
And that growth looks even more impressive when you put it next to their biggest rivals. While Mercedes-Benz actually saw their EV sales drop in that same period, BMW's just took off. So they're not just in the electric race. Right now, they're winning the premium part of it.
And their vision for what's next is super ambitious and really clear. They're aiming for EVs to be half of all their sales by 2030, and the really big goal to be completely carbon neutral from top to bottom by 2050. This is a massive pivot.
So there you have it, a legacy of sheer driving pleasure built on a fortune with a shadowed past, an electric future being steered by a dynasty that prizes secrecy. The next time you see that iconic blue and white badge on the road, the real question is, what story does it tell you?